Ivana Orekoechea and Jordan Dallas will tip it up. And the Aggies win the tap, and Evan Gilliard will bring the Aggies out of the backcourt. NM State averaging 71 points per game. Known for their defense, which is 7th best in the country, defensive points per game allowed. Jabari Rice, who's picked up a lot of the minutes lost by Trev Queen during his injury. Double team comes on now Orekoechea. Toss out for Terrell Brown. Shallow on the three. Reverse stick back for Johnny McCants.
Well, Terrell Brown was open, but the pass wasn't a great pass, and he had to sort of shoot a little quicker than I think he'd intended.
Johnny McCants was under the weather on the recent road trip. He did play through some sickness, but wasn't all that productive. Offensive foul on Terrell Brown.
With Terrell Brown taking the charge. Don't forget, Adam, the Aggies' Terrell Brown was one of their best players a year ago. He was in a shooting slump in the fall with the groin injury, but he's been terrific the last few weeks.
Yeah, we'll see this pretty often tonight. Terrell Brown guarding Terrell Brown. No relation. The Terrell Brown for the Aggies from Hayward, California. Seattle's Terrell Brown is from Seattle. Red Hawks allow 72 points per game. They're the best scoring team, though, in WAC-only games this year. Pitch out to McCants, and he has all 5 for the Aggies.
He's gotten to be a pretty good three-point shooter. Chris Jans won't like that, though. To give up a layup on a made basket will make him crazy.
That was Riley Grigsby, sophomore from San Jose. Good post lob to Orekoechea. Stays patient. Corner three Rice, and he's fouled on the shot. He's fouled by Grigsby, number 2 on Seattle U.
Now, Johnny McCants is saying it was his fault. He scores a basket here, but then doesn't get back in time. And giving up a layup after a made basket, he was maybe collecting too many fives on the way back. It was an unusual mistake for McCants, who's usually completely focused and heads up.
Jabari Rice making his 15th straight start tonight. Like we said earlier, a lot of Trev Queen's minutes have gone to Jabari, who's averaging 30-plus minutes per game during Trev's 5-game absence. And he's averaging 13 a game. He's going to shoot 3 free throws. We've talked the last couple of weeks about Rice emerging, and we posed the question, would he have emerged if all these guys would not have been injured? Chris Jans said last night at our radio coaches show, he said he feels like he still would have found a way to emerge this year.
Well, it's nice of him to say, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. But is there anybody more improved in the league this year than Jabari Rice?
Might not be.
Yeah.
They don't do a most improved player award, but if there was one, Jabari would probably be one of the front runners. It was a close battle between these two programs in mid-January. The Aggies had to pull away late. A lob for McCants, and it wasn't a great pass, and Johnny couldn't stuff it in. That would have brought the house down.
I've never been up that high, Adam, but that's always a tough decision when you're on that alley-oop. If you can't dunk it, do you just come down with it or try and flip it in as a layup?
Good pressure by Orekoechea, really bothering Jordan Dallas, and he forces him into a timeout. That is a 6'8", 240-pound post player guarding out near mid-floor. Outstanding.
Pretty great pressure by Big Yvonne.
So Jim Hayford will have to use a timeout. 7-2 start for the Aggies, a good start 2 minutes in.
Yeah, the Aggies have been able to control the dribble drive. The first one was Terrell Brown getting an offensive foul. And if it wasn't for giving up that easy layup, here's Johnny McCants with the reverse. And that's one of the things he's done well all year. He goes after both boards.
And the numbers show the Aggies have been a really good rebounding team all year. They're +7 with their rebound margin, positive rebound margin in all but 3 games this year. But Chris Jans wants even more. He feels like this team can still be a better rebounding team. Of course he does.
Well, that's the thing with Chris Jans, and I'm laughing, but it's true. Is that I think the players think they're working hard, think they're playing great defense, and he's not happy with it. He wants them to play harder and play better defense. And I think that's why he's such a great coach. It's not just that he just insists on greatness.
Aggies will take that, a Terrell Brown 3. That's not really his game. He's only a 32% three-point shooter. He's better when he takes the ball to the rim. Evan Gilliard towards the rim. Right back to Gilliard. Dallas defending Aore Koachea, who travels on the spin. If the Aggies can find Aore Koachea in solo situations where he cannot be double-teamed, he can really be dangerous.
Well, there were little steps. He's made that move all year, but he might have got going a little too fast there.
The Aggies only commit 14 turnovers per game, 11 or less in 4 straight. Steal for McCants. Scooped up by Gilliard. McCants will push. Another post touch. Here comes a double team. Campo on the backside. Somebody's open. It's McCants. Slips off. Rebound for Dallas. And a foul is called on the rebound. And it's on Aore Koachea. His first. McNair will come in for him. Dallas, a big boy at 6'10", 220. That's a good box out there by the big fella.
Yeah. And Terrell Brown had the shot, but McCants maybe had a better one. I like the way the Aggies share the ball.
Sean Buchanan just checked in for the Aggies. Delonte Jones is in for the first time for Seattle U. Terrell Brown, acrobatic, and it's stuck on the cylinder. That'll be a jump ball. Possession will stay with Seattle U.
And Terrell Brown, it's not only is he looking in the mirror in terms of his name, but he's looking in the mirror in terms of quickness. With the Aggies, Terrell Brown just being every bit as quick.
Terrell Brown for Seattle averages 20 per game. 28 plus in 4 games this year. Morgan Means off the mark on his first three-point try. Scoreless drought of over 2 minutes for Seattle. Great ball movement to Jabari Rice on the baseline. Extra pass. Brown for 3. He got it.
Well, just great ball movement by the Aggies there. And I like that Will McNair could have shot that one, but he's only been in the game for 30 seconds, and I think he's still getting warmed up. So I just love the way the Aggies share the ball.
Will McNair is starting to play a lot more minutes off the Aggie bench. This might be the earliest he's been in a game this year off the bench. Means connects from 3. He's not going to miss many.
Well, Adam, you had said that before the game that Will had a tough day in practice where Chris Jans was on him, but in my experience, if Chris Jans is on you, that's because he's got big expectations, and maybe that's he's trying to get him ready, I guess.
Brown in the key. The Aggies reverse it to Terrell Brown on the wing. Guarded by Terrell Brown. Blocking foul on Terrell Brown of Seattle. That is his second personal with 15:21 left in the first half. So some foul issues early for the WAC's top scorer. Aggies doubling up the Red Hawks here in WAC play. Ten to 5 Aggies to start here at the Pan Am Center. The Aggies looking for their 14th straight win. And M State looking up for their 20th win of the season as well. Earlier this week at his weekly press conference, Aggie head coach Chris Jans talked about the WAC's top scorer, Seattle U guard Terrell Brown.
If you look at his numbers, he has big numbers against us every single time. So we probably need to look inward and do something different with him because he gives us lots of problems. He's just a hard guard. And it's interesting because he does most of his damage, inside the arc. And so, the three-point shot isn't, where he lives and dies. So you would think you could, do a better job on him when he's a guard and not taking a lot of threes. But he just has adapted so well to how people defend him and lay off him. And he just takes that slack up and gets into people's bodies. And he's so strong and physical. He's certainly got to prepare for their whole team, but it starts with him.
According to the official stats, the first foul of the game was on Jordan Dallas, not Terrell Brown. That's according to the official stats. That means Terrell Brown apparently only has one, and I have to wonder if that's why the officials are at the scorer's table right now with 15:21 left here in the first half. I thought that first foul was on Terrell Brown, but apparently was on Dallas and not Brown, so only one for Brown, and he's going to stay in for the Red Hawks. The Aggies will try to build on their 10-5 lead. Johnny McCann's backing down the much smaller Morgan Means. Tosses out to Buchanan. Pump fake. And then Rice couldn't catch it. And he wraps up Matia Tacampo, and Rice knows that's his mistake. It's a good idea.
Yes.
By Sean Buchanan.
And Jabari knew that he should have had it. He immediately apologized. And here comes Trevelin Queen.
Trev Queen is back. Back after missing only 3 weeks, recovering from a lateral meniscus tear. Had surgery on January 21st, and he wipes it off the window and was leaping just fine on that board. Brown again, his second made triple. So far, the Aggies' Terrell Brown getting the better of the Red Hawks' Terrell Brown. The Aggies ahead by 8. Jordan Dallas with the answer. He's a 6'10" grad transfer who's a 43% three-point shooter.
Well, Will McNair is going to have to get out a little bit sooner on Jordan Dallas.
13-8, 14-15 left here in the first half. Defenders are flying out on Sean Buchanan, who's not a lethal three-point shooter, doesn't shoot many. Step back three, short for Buchanan. Brown averages 6 boards a game. Ahead for a streaking Morgan Means, who's blocked by Johnny McCants. It's an offensive foul on Means.
Guess who took it? Sean Buchanan. Was it not Sean Buchanan? Am I wrong?
Nope, it was.
All right.
It was probably a clean swat too, wasn't it?
Yes, and had it been a block, I think they would have got McCants for goaltending. So that was a little bit risky.
Jim Hayford yelling at Tommy Nunez, the official from the opposite side of the floor, trying to say he was falling down before contact was made. CJ Bobbitt in for the first time for the Aggies. Bobbitt on the catch on the wing. He's been quiet recently, scoreless in 2 of his last 3 games. And a foul is called in the interior. This will go on Jordan Dallas, number 2 on him.
Well, he lost his balance a little bit there, the big fella.
Yvonne will get physical with you, that's for sure. The Aggies lob it in for Naore Koachea. Miles Carter defense, he's in off the bench. He's been off the Red Hawks bench in the previous 4 now. He's one of their better players. Gilliard with 6 to shoot a scoop shot with his strong left hand.
Now that's where Gilliard has improved dramatically since his days in El Paso, when he had sort of it seemed like he had an itchy trigger finger. There he didn't even look to shoot until he had to, and then he immediately got to the basket.
Step in 3 for Tacampo, his 18th make. 6'7", 210 senior from Venice, Italy. The big men for the Red Hawks like to shoot it from the perimeter. A lot of post touches. Trev Queen, pump fake a drive, a handoff for Naore Koachea. Tip is no good for Bobbitt.
I thought Yvonne got hit on the head on that one. He missed a 1-footer, which he hasn't done in his whole career probably.
Terrell Brown misses on the floater, but that's what he does well. He gets to the free throw line a ton. He's much better, Russ, inside the arc as opposed to outside the arc.
So on that play, Evan Gilliard he had to shoot the ball. The shot clock was winding down, but he was looking to pass the entire time, the entire possession. But yeah, I think you're right on Seattle's Terrell Brown. He'd much rather go to the basket than shoot the three.
And he's a good free throw shooter, 77% during his junior year. The Aggies going deep into their bench. Terrell Brown for the Aggies is off. Sean Williams came in. Campo goes off for Seattle. There's Riley Grigsby for the Red Hawks. Brown's really upped his scoring. He averaged 14 a game last year, and we thought last year, Russ, he was really, really good, and now he's averaging 20 a game.
Yes. I mean, he's got an NBA body and NBA quickness. I mean, it's not inconceivable that he could wind up in the NBA.
Sean Williams and one.
Now, this is what I love about the Aggies so much. It's he shot that one because he couldn't pass it. He's looking to pass, and finally put it up. Watch his body control. Pretty great, huh? And I think the hair sort of balanced him in a way. It was like with a kite.
We were told when Sean Williams transferred in from East Carolina, he could score in bunches. We haven't seen that often this year. He's only averaging 5 a game.
And I'll still say with a player like C.J. Bobbitt or Sean Williams, the Aggies will need them when it's 3 games in 3 days in Las Vegas. You're going to need every player to hit. And so I think Sean Williams and C.J. Bobbitt are going to be critically important in the WAC tournament.
Right now, this is about as healthy as the Aggies will be. This is about as deep as they'll get. Aaron Nettles, a long-range 3 for the junior from Seattle and Seattle Prep. Red Hawks shooting it well within 2. They're 4 of 6 from 3. Nettles smothering Sean Williams, who zigzags around defenders. Seattle causing some problems on this possession. Long-range bomb for Rice, spins off. Miles Carter snatches, and he averages 7 boards a game.
Well, it's a stingy Seattle defense, Adam.
Reach and foul on C.J. Bobbitt. That is number 4 on the Aggies. Stingy defense for Jim Hayford and the Red Hawks, and some really good three-point shooting so far. Red Hawks 4 of 6 from 3. They trail by 2. Aggies trying to reach the 20-win mark here tonight. Currently 19-6, 10-0 in the WAC, undefeated. They've won 13 in a row, the 5th longest win streak in program history. There you see it, the Red Hawks trying to get above 500. The Red Hawks for the season averaging 72 points per game. Aggies one of the best defensively in the country. They only allow 60, which is 7th nationally and 1st in the WAC. And so far, it's been physical and it's been a close game. Both teams shooting the ball pretty well. Russ?
That's right, and it's with Seattle's 4 for 6 from the 3-point line, and the Aggies have done a decent job of keeping them from driving, but they've had trouble with the fast break. If you're going to give up fast break baskets, it's everything else defensively falls apart.
And they've held Brown in check. Terrell Brown for Seattle has only scored 2 points, 0 of 3 from the field. But 6 players have scored for the Red Hawks, including that man, Aaron Nettles. So it's been balanced for Jim Hayford so far, and that could bode well for the Red Hawks from Seattle, Washington. Campo going to work on Rice, gets him in the air, and we'll head to the free throw line for 2. And Christian says to Rice, don't jump. Pretty big size difference, but Jabari is long and can pose problems with his length.
Yeah, Jabari's going to he'll be in trouble if he lets a guy dribble it to 8 feet. It's going to be hard to contain him no matter what your size is. And so the mistake, was, as much as jumping at the fake, was letting him get that close to the basket.
And that was foul number 2 on Rice, so he will take a seat, and Queen is back in. Campo, a smooth lefty from Venice, Italy. Ties us up at 18 each. Just over 11 left here in half one. Pick and roll, Gilliard and Aore Coachea. This is our first tie today, by the way. Sean Williams will launch. Good start for Williams. He has 6 off the bench.
Well, just another weapon that Chris Jans has. You know, Sean Williams averaged 13 or 14 a game at East Carolina.
And if he's shooting well, he's going to play a lot of minutes here tonight, even with Queen back. Campo lost it. Gilliard has Williams to his right. McCants behind him. Johnny with the tomahawk.
Well, I like that pass by Gilliard because it was the sure pass. There was no way they were going to keep McCants from getting it.
And now Grigsby lost it. 2 straight unforced turnovers on Seattle U.
And Seattle uses their second time out of the half, just trying to stem the tide.
Johnny McCants with 5 now. Checked at 7 for Johnny McCants on 3 of 5, shooting 1 of 2 from 3. So 7 for McCants, 6 for Williams. McCants averages 9, but Williams only averages 5, so the offense is coming from some other places so far.
Right, and again, it's too early to think about the WAC tournament, but the Aggies will need to hit on all 12 cylinders. You know, they'll just need production from every player, and that's a great sign when Sean Williams can come in and score baskets.
Speaking of the WAC tournament, Seattle U right now is in a pretty good position to potentially get a 2 seed. Right now they're tied for 3rd in the WAC with Grand Canyon, but the 2nd place team is California Baptist, and California Baptist is ineligible for the postseason, so the Red Hawks in a pretty good spot right now for a 2 seed. Lopsided series history, 17-3, the mark for the Aggies, but it was a 1-possession game here last year. The Aggies won by 8 in Seattle this year in January, and it felt like it was closer. The Aggies had to pull away late.
That's right, and boy, you know, Jim Hayford, I think, is just known as a coach's coach. He's not, he's not maybe not a national name yet, but among coaching circles, he's a guy that's highly respected.
Both coaches are veterans. Jim Hayford in his 21st year as a collegiate head coach. Chris Jans, of course, at Bowling Green for a year. A number of years at the JUCO level as a head coach as well. Step back 3 from Queen, spins off, and Carter clears it for Seattle.
Now, a year ago, Adam, we thought Miles Carter was going to be one of the better big men in the league. He seems to have spun his wheels a little bit this season.
He's been coming off the bench, which he was not doing early on in his career here. Rare miss for Means, his 2nd miss from 3. Aore Coachea hasn't scored, but he's had countless touches. Inside, outside for McCants. Pulled in by Brown. He will push with no numbers. Pull up mid-range jumper without any rebounders. And now he did pick up his 2nd. We thought he picked up his 2nd earlier. That was indeed his 2nd personal. I know he's a good shooter, but do you agree with that shot, a pull-up 15-footer with no rebounders?
Well, I think when you're the leading scorer in the conference, I think you have to give him a little bit of. But I wondered about it. I wondered about it too. More, I think, just out of frustration, he gets a foul there, which is even more damaging to give him his 2nd foul in the half. And this is where this is Jim Hayford's reputation, by the way, Adam. Is just he's not a screamer. You know, he's a very cerebral guy and. X and O sort of strategist.
Let's see if Evan Gilliard can figure out his free throw shooting woes. 67% this year. That one looked really good for a good shooter from Chicago and Simeon High School.
So we've got 2 Chicago kids on the floor because Miles Carter from St. Rita High School.
What was the word on Evan Gilliard when he was in high school at Simeon? You spent a lot of time, Russ, in Chicago. What did folks say about him?
Well, one of the things that Simeon has player after player, but one of the things when I was with recruiting for the Aggies, I just didn't go to Simeon. Those kids were so highly exposed that I didn't think that we could get them, and so we were always sort of sneaking around trying to get sleepers. So he had a huge reputation in high school. He scored a lot of points on great teams year after year. And he scored a lot of points at UTEP, but I think he was frustrated. The team wasn't doing very well, and he just couldn't seem to get happy. But he seems to have found a home here, doesn't he? He's playing terrific defense. He's sharing the ball.
No question, and I don't think it's any sort of a coincidence that ever since Evan Gilliard became eligible in December, the Aggies haven't lost since. They're undefeated with Evan Gilliard active.
Well, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's a good point.
7-0 Aggie run, 11 minutes into this one. It was 18-18, now the Aggies up 7. Brown on the bench for Seattle with 2 personals. Grigsby spinning, stripped by McCants, shot clock under 10. A foul is called somewhere. Wasn't a whole lot there.
Well, it's the way Sean Buchanan plays defense all the time, so it's a bit of a surprise. Maybe we just didn't have a good angle from where we're sitting.
All righty then. First foul on Buchanan. 1-1 for Campo, who's making his 4th straight start. That's been the new combination for Jim Hayford. Miles Carter has been coming off the bench in the previous 4, and Campo has been starting. Two point guards on the floor for the Aggies, Gilliard and Buchanan. Big Will McNair with the ball screen. Terrell Brown bump, no call on Grigsby. Mid-post extended, McCants backdoor to a wide open, cutting Sean Buchanan.
Well, I'll tell you what, Seattle's doing something interesting defensively, Adam. They're double teaming the low post, but not until he dribbles. And so they're waiting till he dribbles and then attacking the low post man with a double team. And there they got caught sort of in between. They were about to go double team and somebody lost track of Sean Buchanan.
Will McNair running the floor well. Reward the big man. Brown to the rim, high floater is no good, way off.
I wonder if he was passing that one. That wasn't anywhere
Might have
close.
Been. No made field goals for Seattle in well over 3 minutes. Great spin move for Campo, just couldn't quite convert. Gilliard slithering around the defense. Will McNair's active. He's setting a lot of ball screens. Here's another one from the big man out of Philly. Here comes Will again. Under 10 on the timer.
It's a big screen.
Reward him. Gilliard lost it. McCants for 3. He got it off. Got rim. Cleared by Carter again. Campo going to work, a pitch out for Grigsby. Straightaway triple. Riley Grigsby, just a 20% three-point shooter. Those stingy Redhawks right back in it. 2-possession game. McCants has already attempted 4 threes. He's only made 1. In the interior now, banks it in. Good move for the local product.
Well, you could just see his eyes light up. He had DeCampo on him, who's a perimeter player and maybe not athletic enough to deal with Johnny McCants, and he just went right at him.
And it seems as if the Seattle defense is daring McCants to shoot it from the arc. Altered shot by McNair. Running the floor, Terrell Brown, aggressive move. And he will shoot 2 when we come back from break. 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 helpers for Johnny McCants. Aggies ahead by 6. Adam Young with Russ Bradford. They love their Aggies here. The Aggies have won 21 straight conference home games. They lead by 6 against Seattle U. Tonight's game is sponsored by Eyes of the Southwest Eye Care and Framed Optical. See the difference. Every time you feel like, Russ, the Aggies are about to stretch out their lead, Jim Hayford's ball club sneaks right back in.
Well, that's right, and we talked about what a fine coach he is, and just, you know, his players are smart and tough. And again, he's not playing with any freshmen. He's got a veteran squad.
The Aggies 10 of 20 from the field. Redhawks 6 of 15. Redhawks 5 of 8 from 3. Aggies 4 of 11. Two teams have combined to go 11 of 12 on free throws. And this is preseason all-conference pick Terrell Brown, who already has 6. 73% free throw shooter this year. First team All-WAC a season ago. Made a lot of free throws down the stretch in the first matchup at Seattle this year. Made some big free throws late. This matches the Aggies' biggest lead. Aaron Nettles made a triple early, puts it on the deck. Kick out to Grigsby, just a 20% three-point shooter. And there's Ivan Aorekoache on the backside. Ivan is still scoreless, only 1 field goal attempt. He is getting double-teamed almost every single time he touches it. Buchanan trying to fade him out. No double team yet. 1 dribble, then there's a double team. And a jackhammer for Johnny.
Well, see, Ivan is difficult to double team, and he knows it's coming. He's there was a little cat and mouse game. He waited and waited and then just took 1 dribble. Here comes the double team, and McCants is open. So it's an interesting move. They're waiting, they're not double teaming right away. They're waiting until he starts dribbling.
And 1 for Miles Carter on the other end. See, Coach, you're teaching me courtside because I'm waiting for the 1 dribble, and I can see that play developing.
Well, now it's happening, and I think what's happened because of that is, even though it's an aggressive move, the double team, they're tentative before they're aggressive, and it's a little cat and mouse game that's going on every time the Aggies get the ball in the low post. But Ivan Aorekoache is, as you know, he's cagey and crafty, and he's not easy to fool.
Aggies shooting 52%. Also 7 of 8 on free throws. Sean Williams off the bench has 6 on 2 of 2 shooting. Long 2 for Williams. He's starting to feel it now. McCants will keep the possession alive. Fresh 20.
Great hustle by Johnny McCants.
Buchanan going to work on Carter. Williams from the corner. Grabbed by Morgan Means, who's trapped and tosses out for Jordan Dallas. Means only has 3, he averages 12. Skip pass to Nettles. Williams ahead, has Brown in the corner. He'll bounce it to him. Right to C.J. Bobbitt, and he misses. And it's physical right now in rebounds. Johnny McCants felt like he was held by Carter, but Carter wins this one. Foul is called on Johnny. The first on him. McCants leading all scorers with 11. And he picks up the personal, fighting for the rebound with Carter. 33-25, under 4 left in half 1. Rob Evans was still coaching as of a few years ago, right?
He's a complete gentleman. He's a really brilliant coach, and just as solid a person as you could imagine. Rob Evans, he's been successful everywhere he's been, and evidently he and Lou Henson had big battles in checkers.
Okay.
Did you know that Lou Henson's one of the great checker players in the world?
I did not know that.
He's nearly impossible to beat in checkers. And sometimes he'd want to play a recruit in checkers when we'd go to dinner, and I always thought it was a bad idea for him to shellac a recruit in checkers. But it shouldn't surprise you. He just has a great head for games and a great strategist.
See, Russ, this is the kind of content we cannot get from anybody else.
Well,
nobody knew how good Lou Henson was in checkers.
This is what you're paying for, this kind of brilliant analysis. That's right.
We did find out earlier this week, Lou will not be able to make it. He will try to send in a video message. Sean Williams, he's not shy one bit.
No, he seems to have found his groove. And Lou is battling all kinds of health issues. And I'll tell you, Adam, as you know, there's nobody who's more upbeat or more positive than Lou Henson. Just the most forward-thinking, most positive person I've ever been around in my life.
Campo rims in the three. High arcing three right over Johnny McCants. His second made three.
Well, they're over 50% from the three this game.
6 of 11, yet they trail by 8. So Lou's daughter, Lori, will be here and represent the family. Mary Henson, of course, back in Champaign with Lou. But they hope he's going to send in a video message, which will certainly rev up the crowd. Sean Buchanan can't scoop it through.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Lou Henson shows up on the video board on Saturday and the reaction the fans will have?
The place will go bananas.
Campo again. That one pinballs off. How to find Sean Williams now in transition. Williams with 9 on 3 of 6 shooting. Look at Sean Williams go. Throws it away though. Intercepted by Campo.
Well, it's good to see Sean Williams playing with this kind of confidence, though, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the most confidence, Russ, we've seen him play with this entire year.
And it's got to be hard. You know, he was a star at Eastern Carolina, but they weren't very good, and he comes here to a great program and just has to adjust. You know, Gilliard has made that adjustment pretty quickly.
Honestly, I think a big reason why Williams has played with some confidence here tonight is because his shots were falling early.
Yes.
If your shots fall early, that can kind of change the outlook of a game.
Absolutely, and that was I think you used to say that about C.J. Bobbitt, and I think it's true with C.J. Bobbitt too, who's a role player, but if he can just knock in his first shot or two, he seems to get his confidence going.
Morgan Means, the best free throw shooter in the WAC, 90%. 42 of 46 in WAC games as well. 12 a game this year, 14 a game last year for a really, really good player, a senior from Compton, California.
Look at the great shooters that the Aggies have in on the perimeter here between Gilliard, Sean Williams, and Terrell Brown. That's 3 pretty good three-point shooters right there.
80 seconds left in the half. Flare screen is set to get Williams open on the wing. Curling Gilliard, step in 3. Carter with his 4th rebound off the Red Hawk bench. Second best rebounder in the conference. 2-possession game, the Aggies have led by as many as 11. Big 6'10" Jordan Dallas trying to float it home. Gilliard bumped, no call. Picked up by Dallas.
Well, Chris Jans isn't happy about that, but I thought Gilliard had him as well.
Not to finish, the Aggies won it to this half. Morgan Means misses the layup.
And Gilliard saved a basket there with just sheer hustle by going and bothering the shooter.
Let's see who the Aggies go to. They have Gilliard, Williams, Bobbitt, Terrell Brown, and McCants. McCants with 11, Brown with 8, Williams has 9. A lot of options here for point guard Evan Gilliard with 4. Terrell Brown. 10-footer, and he's fouled on the shot. So Brown will try to reach double figures in the first half.
And that's Morgan Means' third, isn't it, Adam? No, oh no. That's Aaron Nettles.
It would have been Morgan's third, though, if it would have been on him. Means was right there as well. Rare first half miss. The Aggies 7 of 9. Brown now 2 of 3. So 3 players with 9 or more, led by McCants with 11. Aggie lead is 7. It was once 11. The Red Hawks did not lead in the first half. Aggies trying to stay perfect in league play, looking for their 14th straight win. First half highlights and stats coming up next. And Aure Coachea had 19. Those were the 2 best players in the first matchup. And they've been limited so far today. Terrell Brown is on the floor. He's in the near corner defensively. Aggie ball in the home whites. Aure Coachea puts it on the deck. Double team comes. He steps through. Gets the rebound.
McCants with a great job keeping that alive.
Right back to Yvonne. Checked by Dallas. Skips out to McCants, who's double team. Wide open, Jabari Rice. Step back 3. Good patience, but that's it skip off.
Now, all kinds of strategy going on with the Seattle double team. Is it on that last possession? There were 2 different guys double teamed the post.
Popping out is Grigsby, made a 3 in the first half, and he connects here. 20% three-point shooter, only his 17th make this year.
Well, we talked about it before the game, Adam. One of the keys was they had to recover. The Aggies were going to have to stop the dribble drive and then recover, and they've done a good job of stopping the drive, but they haven't done a good job of recovering.
Evan Gilliard staying patient, banks it in high over the outstretched arms of a Seattle defender.
Well, this is the second time McCants got beat coming back there, where he's not running the floor.
And both times have been against Grigsby.
Yeah. And again, it's after a made basket. Gilliard with a crafty little basket there.
He's had 2 crafty finishes tonight.
Yes. He's slippery around the basket there.
Grigsby a 73% free throw shooter, but he was 5 of 10 last Saturday in a win at Utah Valley. A win at Utah Valley last Saturday for Seattle. It was an OT win. 87-85 was the final. Morgan Means a game winner with 2 seconds left. The Aggies would love to get Jabari Rice rolling here in the half, as well as Aure Coachea, who was looking for McCants on an alley-oop try, didn't toss it though. He'll stick the screen. Gilliard trying to find somebody. And Aure Coachea not in sync right now. Grigsby, no one defending him, it's a brick. Rice falls on it, jump ball, possession to Seattle. If other coaches around the WAC see this game film, they're going to try to do what Seattle U is doing right now to Yvonne Aure Coachea.
Yes, the double teams are confusing him this half. We seem to be fine in the first half, but the double teams have confused the Aggies up to this point.
The Red Hawks have outscored the Aggies 4-2 in the half. Means one possession game, 39-37. Morgan Means averaging 12 a game. Dallas and Aure Coachea really tussling down low, and Jordan Dallas whistled for foul number 2. He joins Means with 2. Brown has 3 for Seattle. Pick and roll, Rice and McCants. It's a pop out for Johnny McCants. And that's what Seattle U wants to see defensively. They want to force McCants into three-point tries. He's attempted a handful now. Terrell Brown can't finger roll it home. High rebound, snared in by McCants. Brown in transition. McCants the board. Foul on Campo. Johnny McCants relentless. That's a double-double now for Johnny McCants as he reaches 10 rebounds to go along with 11 points, his second double-double this year. Three offensive rebounds for Johnny. Toss it into him. Miles Carter in off the bench defense. Carter will sag off. 6 to shoot. Step in 3. Gilliard. He rims it in.
Well, that's where Gilliard is maybe the Aggie best player at moving without the ball, and it's pretty stiff competition. All the Aggies move pretty well without the ball, but he may be the best.
Tip-in try is no good for Carter, and right on the doorstep, Terrell Brown. He's had a tough night, and now he has a chance for a three-point play the old-fashioned way. Maybe an interesting no call right there, and that could have been a big call because Brown's playing with 3.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting move by Chris Jans. They're going to go with 4 perimeter players and Johnny McCants. And as we've seen, McCants can make a three-pointer. It's 4 pretty dangerous offensive players here for the Aggies. 5 pretty dangerous offensive players, sorry.
In case you missed the first half, Trev Queen is back. Only played 6 minutes, though, in the first half off the bench. Back after missing only 3 weeks, recovering from a lateral meniscus tear. Had surgery on January 21st.
Does that mean Dr. McGuire and his crew? That's always been the sort of the Aggies' go-to guy for knee surgery. It must have been, I guess, huh?
Queen making him look good. Finger roll for Rice, and he just can't get one to drop. Rice has only scored 2, and it's been on free throws. He's 0 of 3 from the field. Nearly forces a turnover, but Means gets a great look. Best look he will get all day. No numbers for Gilliard. Bumped in the back by Grigsby. No continuation for Evan Gilliard.
Well, and Terrell Brown's limping a little bit.
Yeah, the Aggies' Terrell Brown just limped off the floor onto the bench. He's untying his right shoe right now. I think it might be his ankle. There's a look at Terrell Brown on the Aggie bench.
Might have to unplug those shoes, they're so bright.
Well, fortunately, the Aggies have depth, and Sean Williams has played very well offensively tonight. 10 to shoot for McCants. Just sagging off Carter. Williams has to go to work. A fadeaway from the corner for Sean Williams.
Wow. Tough shot by Sean Williams.
That's the kind of night Brown has had. He usually connects on those.
Yeah,
he's 1 of 8 from the field.
Great help by Johnny McCants, and just good defense by Evan Gilliard.
Johnny McCants from deep. Carter has given him that shot. Johnny McCants has been forced into 7 three-point tries. He's only made 1. Chris Jans talking to him into the timeout. 44-39 Aggies. A&M State back home for a 3-game homestand ahead of Seattle U 44-39. The Aggies will play for their final 6 in the regular season here in this building, looking for their 29th consecutive win against WAC opponents. Great to have you with us tonight. Adam Young alongside the former Aggie assistant coach, Russ Bradford. We talked about this briefly. Saturday coming up, Final Four reunion weekend. How cool will that be? It's
going to be amazing. It's this team that lost to UCLA in the Final Four. One of the greatest team probably in Aggie history. Lou Henson, it seems like he won't be here, but he'll be checking in via video, we hope. But it'll be really exciting to have everyone back.
All 9 living members on the team will be back, as well as a couple of assistant coaches, including Rob Evans. So it should be fun Saturday at 4 when the Aggies play Utah Valley. A lot of folks were excited to have Trev Queen back. That was a big surprise for a lot of Aggie fans. Nobody really knew that he was recovering this well. Everyone had that 4 to 6 week window, and this is week 3. So Trev Queen recovering probably about as well as you could, and coming back about as soon as he could with the knee injury.
Well, the local doctor has worked her magic, and now the Aggies need Trev Queen to work his magic. That made him MVP of the conference tournament last year.
He's only taken 1 shot. He has not scored. Morgan Means a finger roll. Queen with the rebound. The outlet to Gilliard. Kick out Williams. Extra pass to Rice from the corner. Jabari still sticking on 2 and still with no made field goals. Aggie field goal percentage has dipped below 40. Red Hawks only shooting 35% from the field, but good from 3. Good steal in the corner by Evan Gilliard.
Well, this is where Gilliard has really made his mark, is defensively. And he can get to the basket.
Yeah, Evan Gilliard will shoot 2. This is about as aggressive we've seen Evan on the offensive end this year.
Yeah, and maybe it's because he's picking up Jabari Rice as a little bit off shooting-wise, and maybe he's he's showed up at the right time here, Evan Gilliard.
Made his first 2 free throw tries of the game. 7 points per game for Gilliard, who now has 10, so one of his better scoring games this year. Averaged 14 a game last year at UTEP. Played for Rodney Terry. The Aggies have not lost since Gilliard became eligible that semester. Pinball's off. Carter rips in the rebound, his 6th. Terrell Brown in the high post. Gilliard guards him. Quiet night for American transfer Delonte Jones. Pinball's in. They're running a right-handed floater. First points for Jones, who averages 8 a game. Former Patriot League Freshman of the Year at American. Queen for the wing. Queen to the rim. Finger roll no good. And Trev will shoot 2. Try to get in the scoring column.
And just getting to the line will help him get his confidence, I think.
If folks had any worries about how his knee was feeling or the pop to it, he had a between-the-legs dunk during warm-ups earlier today. Between his legs, powerful dunk during warm-ups, and the fans that were here had all their nerves settled when they saw that, I'm sure. Remember, Queen leads the Aggies in scoring. He's averaging 15 a game. Also leads the Aggies in rebounding, averaging 6 a game. So you take that out of the equation, the Aggies still found a way to win all 5 games he was out. The last game he played was against Seattle on January 18th.
And this might be a good matchup for young Will McNair. He doesn't have to go out on the three-point shooter like he did with Jordan Dallas.
More free throws for Terrell Brown. Jordan Dallas comes in for Carter. Brown averaging 24 points per game in his previous 5 games. He had attempted 31 free throws in his previous 4, and he's been to the line 5 times now. Just knows how to get to the free throw line. Uses his body very well, very cerebral. Can score in so many different ways, and he's shown that in flashes here tonight. Certainly showed that a lot last year in this building when the Red Hawks took the Aggies down to the wire. The Aggies haven't made a field goal in almost 3 minutes. High ball screen for McNair. Williams to the baseline. Stolen by Brown. Queen defends. Brown pinballs it through. 1 possession game again. Feels a little uneasy right now. I think that's the way the fans feel here at the Pan Am.
I really want Sean Williams to have a breakout game, and that turnover, a turnover like that can kill your confidence sometimes.
Will McNair going to work. Jump hook is an air ball. Rebound on the weak side for Da Campo. Red Hawks could tie on this possession. They're 8 of 16 on triples. Da Campo's made a pair, so has Means, as well as Grigsby. Under 10 to shoot for Brown. He'll heave a 3. Under 12 left in half 2. Media timeout, next dead ball. And an offensive foul is called. It's away from the ball, it's on Sean Buchanan. 3 on Buchanan. Red Hawks have outscored the Aggies by 4.5, and they're within 3. Adam Young along with Russ Bradford, 47-44. Aggies ahead by 3 with 11:34 left in the second half. Tonight's game is sponsored by Eyes of the Southwest Eye Care and Framed Optical. See the difference. 3 in double figures for the Aggies. Williams 11, McCants 11, Gilliard 10. No man in double figures for the Red Hawks is that man, Da Campo. He has 10 to lead Seattle U. But Terrell Brown for Seattle U starting to get rolling a bit here in the half.
Yes, and that's scary for the Aggies. Seattle's Terrell Brown's playing with great confidence suddenly this half.
Red Hawks are in possession. Jordan Dallas, a grad transfer from Weber State. They'll reset with Brown with 10 to shoot. Young man from Seattle, a redshirt junior, back out for Delonte Jones. McCann's rebound number 12.
That's where Johnny's really good. He didn't have to jump for that one because he did such a good job of boxing out.
McCants will get a touch in the low block. Buchanan a step in 3 in front of his bench. Sean Buchanan, his 10th made 3 this year.
Well, interesting, Seattle's given up on the double teams. They didn't double team that time.
And now Buchanan has 4 makes in his previous 3 games. Shooting it better recently from distance. Delonte Jones to the rim and 1. Foul is on Queen.
Maybe taking a little advantage of Trevelin Queen, who's still got cobwebs on his sneakers.
3-point play for Jones, redshirt senior from Virginia. And it's right back to a 3-point game. 10 1/4 left. Aggies run the play for McCann, smothered by 3 red jerseys. Red Hawks want jump ball, Aggies want foul, and it's a foul called on Seattle. Jim Hayford signaling jump ball. It's Arn Campo, number 2 on him. 16 fouls now on Seattle. Queen, a long-range bomb. And that was ill-advised for sure. A stick back for Rice, but Christian's furious about the shot selection.
And maybe Jabari Rice will get going here with that easy putback.
Jones on the baseline. Rice almost got to the pass. Campo out of the corner. Hit the top of the backboard. Aggies trying to build on their 5-point advantage. No block extended. Kick out to Buchanan. Rice for Queen. Side step. Thought about a 3, didn't take it. The Aggies will use clock and they reset with Rice with 5 on the timer. And an offensive foul is called.
I guess he got him on a trip, maybe. I didn't see that one, but yeah.
Maybe it was on a brush screen.
Yeah, I think he said that McNair tripped him a little bit.
Yeah. He was certainly tripped up, and I don't think Will stuck out his leg. The foul on McNair is number 2. Fans trying to get into it. A little too close for comfort right now. In the hands of Buchanan. Lob ahead for Rice. Tipped away out of bounds by Aaron Nettles. Seattle just doesn't give you any easy buckets in transition, Russ.
No, that's right. That's right. They're not going to give up. And as good as the Aggie defense has been, twice Johnny McCants, very unusual for Johnny McCants, sort of got caught napping and beat back on the fast break.
Aure Coachea is still scoreless. He averages 15 a game in conference games. He's been great. In fact, he scored 23 in 2 of the previous 4, including last Saturday at Kansas City. He's one of the early favorites for WAC Player of the Year, but still no points. McCants has been the difference. Johnny McCants,
boy, he's just
13.
He's just a little too much for DeCampo, who's a terrific player, but he's not a low post player. And I think Seattle's just a little bit short-handed size-wise.
McCants was under the weather last week, did play though in both games, did not score last Thursday against Chicago State, played better Saturday against Kansas City. Chris Giant said last night at the coaches show that he watched the film and he realized McCants was probably more sick than he thought. He's healthy right now. Dump off to Rice, finger roll, no good. There's a lid on the cylinder right now for Jabari. 1 of 6 from the field. Brown floats it in right over Buchanan. He's not huge, but using his 6'1" body to shoot over the 6-foot Buchanan. Gilliard gets the play call from Chris Jans. The Aggies pop out Buchanan, trying to isolate McCants. They do so in the low block. Campo defends.
They're not double teaming now, and it's probably a mistake.
Great patience for Johnny. He misses, gets it back, sticks it up, and no good. Was right out in front.
But it's turning into quite a physical battle, huh?
How about Jim Hayford trusting Doc Campo to guard McCants 1-on-1. Riley Grigsby. 14 rebounds for Johnny McCants. Gilliard running floater. Put back for Rice. There you go. 6 for Jabari. '21 straight conference home wins for the Aggies. Trying to push that to 22 tonight. Finger roll short, put back good. Terrell Brown now with 11. And Jim Hayford will use a timeout. Johnny McCants with 13 and 14. He's been the star for the Aggies and the star for Seattle. The man from Seattle, Terrell Brown, starting to heat up. Red Hawks within a handful. Adam Young with Russ Bradford. The Aggies trying to reach the 20-win plateau here tonight, looking for their 14th straight win. Currently the 5th longest win streak in program history and the 4th longest active win streak around the country. Red Hawks in a pretty good spot right now, and if they can find a way to come back and win this game, they'll be in a really, really good spot as they fight for a 2 seed right now. There you see the Aggies up 3 with 6 left to play. It's almost a foregone conclusion. The Aggies will be the 1 seed, judging by the standings right now. California Baptist not eligible for the postseason, so the Aggies with a large lead for the 1 seed at the Orleans Arena in Vegas.
That's right, and California Baptist still is not allowed to compete in the WAC playoffs.
Rick Croy has done a really, really good job in Riverside coaching that ball club, and they're going to be here in the regular season finale for the Aggies on March 5th. That'll be senior day, and Rick Croy and CBU will be here. The Red Hawks trying to go above 500. Ore Coachea misses a tip in for McCants. They wave it off. They say offensive goaltending. I would love to see a replay.
I think that might have gone in. I think that was the correct call.
And now we'll have the Ederdate media. McCants is trying to say that it should count. 56-51 Aggies. Been a 2-possession game for a while. 56-51. Red Hawks have not led. Aggies led by as many as 11 at one point in the first half, in the return of Trev Queen after missing the previous 5 games. Tonight's game is sponsored by Eyes of the Southwest Eye Care and Framed Optical. See the difference. And it's time now for our New Mexico State Student Athletes of the Game. Tonight we recognize Tristan Peterson, an All-American for Aggie Baseball, and Catherine Harston for Aggie Swim and Dive. Peterson, a perfect 4.0 student, majors in engineering. Harston, a 3.90, majors in kinesiology. New Mexico State University, be bold, shape the future. Aggie Baseball starts tomorrow. They're going to host Texas Southern for 4 games this weekend at Presley Askew Field. Peterson, one of 3 preseason All-Americans. Nick Gonzalez and Chance Roach, the other 2. And Chance will start tomorrow on the Hill as the Aggies play Texas Southern. All right, now the Aggie men's basketball team trying to stave off a Red Hawks comeback. Foul was called on Morgan Means on a reach into the backcourt.
Morgan Means a little frustrated there. Heads up play by Ivan Oro-Coachea.
First point tonight for Ivan Oro-Coachea.
And not a moment too soon, huh?
In both. Dangerous pass near midcourt is scooped up by Morgan Means. Big possession here for the Red Hawks. Both teams under 40% for the field. Defense has been pretty good tonight. Means floats it in. Morgan Means has 10. He's in double figures. And he's been in double figures now in 7 straight.
But that's what Seattle does so well, Adam, is they really spread the floor.
There's Jabari Rice.
That's the Jabari Rice we know. But one of the things that Seattle does so well is their spacing is good. It makes it difficult to help.
Aggies switch on Brown, and he finger rolls it right around Evan Gilliard. It was Rice guarding him initially, and the Aggies wisely switched, and it didn't matter.
Yes.
Just over 5 left. Some big minutes down the stretch for Sean Williams, who had a great first half. Williams has 11. Aggies float it, looking for McCants. Backside help for Seattle forces the turnover.
No good help by Miles Carter.
Brown again. This one is a miss. And McCants is now a rebound shy of his career high. He has 15. Ore Coachea. First made field goal tonight, and it comes in crunch time.
Big basket by the big Spaniard. And the 2 players for the Aggies that have a little trouble getting on track tonight, Ore Coachea and as well as Jabari Rice, are now coming on. So good news for the Aggies.
Perfect 3 for 3 on free throws. Morgan Means on the penetration. Pinball's off.
Aggies get a break there.
Wing to wing to McCants. Spins it down low for now Ore Coachea. They're looking for the big fella early and often on possessions. And a pushing foul in the back is on Miles Carter. That's the 9th on the Redhawks. 1-1 upcoming for Ore Coachea. McCants has had some pretty good low post production. Ore Coachea, of course, hasn't here tonight, but there's been a lot of post touches. The Aggies have started almost every single possession with a post look.
Yes, and as we've talked about plenty, Seattle had been double teaming early, did not there. But I think Miles Carter had both hands on the Aggies, and it's a no-no.
The foul was number 2 on Carter, who's now on the Redhawks bench. Dallas came in for him. Big man from Madrid, Spain, 6'8", 235, transfer from Indian Hill, JUCO. Imagine a young man from Spain visiting Iowa and playing your basketball in Iowa for a couple of years.
Well, there it is.
Culture shock
small
for
town
sure.
Iowa.
Brown couldn't catch it. Scooped up by Gilliard. Spins away from defenders. Williams for 3.
Oh, but Johnny McCants got pushed, it looks like.
Morgan Means whistled for the personal. He fouls McCants. Evan Gilliard looked like a pistolero right there, Russ.
Pretty slick ball handling by Evan Gilliard. Look at him go.
Under 4 left in half 2. Aggie lead is at 10 with under 4 left here in the second half. Terrell Brown, the Aggie star guard from Hayward, California, we assume injured his ankle. He's on the bench, icing his ankle right now. At the end of the Aggie bench, there you see it, the ice on that right ankle for Terrell Brown. And he rolled it in this half.
And that's an unusual, usually it's on the outside of the ankle, so
yeah.
something strange happened there.
Well, it's been that kind of a year. Trev Queen comes back, and now Terrell Brown with an apparent ankle injury in this half. The Aggies without Wilfred Lakai, Clayton Henry, H.A. Harris. It's been well documented. Finally get Trev back, and now Terrell's hurt. So The blows keep on coming, Russ.
That's right, but the Aggies don't seem to miss a beat, and it's always been a team effort. I notice it every time, guys on the bench cheering for guys in the game. You know, they don't seem to have the typical jealousy problems and the complaining about playing time. It's just they all seem to be focused on the same thing Chris Jans is, which is winning games.
The Aggies will continue their 3-game homestand Saturday at 4. They're going to host Utah Valley. That's an early start at 4 p.m. Saturday. We will have it for you on television. The Red Hawks, meanwhile, will travel to Edinburgh and play UTRGV Saturday as well. It'll be our first look this weekend at the Mad Dog, Mark Madsen, the new head coach of Utah Valley, who took over for Mark Pope in the offseason. A lot of the same personnel that that the Wolverines had in previous years. A little different. But some of the guys are back. The Kansas struggled on free throws, 47% free throw shooter. Splits the pair. That's above his season percentage. This matches the Aggies' biggest lead, and it's their biggest lead in half 2. They led by 11 at one point in half 1. They lead by 11 here in half 2. 6-0 Aggie run. Aaron Nettles fumbles it out of bounds.
Well, that was a rare sort of mishandling mistake on Seattle's part.
The Aggies might be a few buckets away from putting this one away. But Brown has other plans. Steal for Terrell Brown and one. He's pesky on both ends, and now he has 15.
Well, he's got great body control and great balance. I mean, he's sort of thick in the shoulders, which causes problems for Jabari, who's not quite as strong.
Jabari Rice has been so consistently good this year that I think we forget oftentimes that he's only a sophomore.
Yes, yes.
There's going to be growing pains still early on in his career.
But Terrell Brown's only a junior, isn't that right?
And Brown, a redshirt junior from Seattle, transferred in from Shoreline Community College, where he averaged 30 a game. So he's been a big-time scorer his entire college career. Ore Coachea on the roll and the finish. Three in double figures for Seattle. 16 for Brown, 10 each for Docampo and Means. Means has it here at the head of the key. Means down the lane. Picks up his dribble. Aaron Nettles, 28 feet away, swishes in the three. Sharpshooter from Seattle Prep. His second made triple.
Boy, the Seattle three-point shooting, though, they've made 10 three-pointers tonight, haven't they? 9 or 10 of them.
Yeah, 9 of 23. That's a pretty good number for Seattle. 39%. For the year, they're 31%, which is second worst in the WAC, so better than usual. And they always give the Aggies fits. They did so in this building last year. It was a low-scoring game. It was the Pac to Pan Am game. And Seattle played the Aggies tough in mid-February. As you see, a made three for Trev Queen, who then wore number 20. Here's A.J. Harris. Sure would be nice to have him active and healthy.
Yeah, he walks by on crutches. It just makes my heart hurt.
59-53 was the final score that day. The Aggies survived, and they're trying to survive again. There's some sort of an issue right now where Jim Hayford is speaking to Tommy Nunez, the official. And apparently what the Seattle U bench and the coaching staff is saying that an object was thrown from the stands towards the huddle.
Well, that's not good. And here comes Mario Mocha, and the biggest cop I've ever seen. But the Aggies could use him as a power forward, that guy.
Well, they believe they were able to identify the fan. Who apparently threw an object onto the floor towards the Seattle huddle. And that fan will be ejected from the game. No place for that here, especially. So back to action after a brief pause, and the Aggies will try to capitalize on this possession and extend their 7-point lead. Nice wheels and then passes for Aore Coachea. McCants is open. They're going to give him a 3 if he wants to shoot it. Just daring him to shoot it from 3. 2 to shoot. Left-handed shot by Aore Coachea. Not the look the Aggies wanted.
Nearly went in.
That wasn't even a hook. That was a shot. A shot put shot by Yvonne. Jordan Dallas on the pick and pop. 4-point game. Steal for Terrell Brown.
Well, a little bit of a casual pass by Evan Gilliard.
Dallas again. Brown trying to tap it to Means. He tapped it right to McCants.
Yeah, heads up play by Terrell Brown. He just couldn't get it to go. Terrell Brown's everywhere here.
Chris Jans calls a timeout. Sean Buchanan will race towards the scorer's table. Chris Jans not happy with the sloppiness here in the previous minute.
A real sort of junior high school mistake there against just lobbing a soft pass. And Seattle's Terrell Brown picked it out of the air.
This has been a 6-0 run in the previous minute, 12 for Seattle to pull within 4. And like we've been talking about the entire game, you feel like you're pulling away, and they come back again.
No, that's right. And it's just, I just think it's a stubborn Seattle team. They're well coached and they're men. They're not 18-year-olds. He's got a team full of upperclassmen that are refusing to quit.
The Aggies trying to make it 14 straight wins. 5th longest win streak in program history. You can see that 18-gamer came last year. (68-64), 70 seconds left.
When Gilliard has wound up on the bench after that pass.
The Aggies brought in Buchanan for Gilliard. And Sean Williams is in down the stretch. He's been that good offensively. He's blocked. Numbers for the Red Hawks if they can push. They don't have to rush. They have time here. Reverse layup is no good for Brown. But it will stay with Seattle U. Last touch by Trev Queen.
Well, the block was clean, but he looked like he got bumped before he went up for the shot.
Williams to the bench, and McCants came in for him. Morgan Means runs over Rice, a no call. Floater was left short, Blocked away by McCann. Seattle U wanted goaltending. The Red Hawks still want goaltending.
Well, let's see if Johnny McCants, look at this. Johnny McCants tips it. I think that was a good block. That seemed like a good block to me from our angle here. Here's a different angle. That was on the way, that was completely on the way up. I think it was just the quickness of Johnny McCantz's reaction that surprised everybody.
The Aggies in the double bonus. First of two for Aore Koache after the third personal on Jordan Dallas. Jim Hayford just had a long discussion with Tommy Nunez about that no call.
But I think that was the correct call.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Aggies ahead by 6. Shot clock is off. Brown doesn't use the ball screen. A step back, wing 3. McCants grabs the rebound.
Risky pass under the basket there.
His 17th rebound, a new career high for Johnny McCants. It's been a Jamario Jones type of night for Johnny McCants.
Well, that's saying a lot, and it has been. And he's done it all. He made a couple threes. He took advantage when he had the shorter Italian player on him, DeCampo. He's got some big rebounds, some big block shots.
14 points, 17 rebounds, 3 helpers for Johnny McCants. Rice trying to knock in his free throws to seal it. Second of 2 for the redshirt sophomore from Houston. And Jabari Rice is in double figures for the 5th straight game.
After a slow start.
Three is no good for Means. They let McCants grab his 18th. Career night for Johnny. Aggies survive, and they pick up their 14th straight win. Win number 20 for the Aggies this year.
Wow. I don't think Jim Hayford was happy with the officiating, but that's certainly not Chris Jans's fault. But it seems like a friendly chat.
Upcoming games for the Aggies: Utah Valley, UTRGV, and Grand Canyon. Seattle U will have UTRGV, Grand Canyon, and CSU Bakersfield. Wasn't easy, but the Aggies able to survive. 72-64 is the final score here tonight as head coach Chris Jans joins us courtside. Let's start with Johnny McCants. We just mentioned on the air that it was a Jamario Jones stat sheet kind of night for Johnny, who grabs 18 rebounds, Coach.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Certainly I knew he had a lot of them. I haven't seen the stat sheet yet, but I just thought the last 2 minutes of the game, he got every one of them. I mean, he made some plays that I've never seen him make. It was great to see. We needed those rebounds. They were making a push at us like they always do. We always have a hard time with Seattle. But Johnny made some big-time plays down the stretch.
Quiet night for Queen, Rice, and also Yvonne. But other guys stepped up with those guys kind of having quiet nights offensively.
Yeah, I thought Sean Williams gave us a big boost, especially in the first half. You know, I think he had 8 or 9 points, and he had missed a shot, and then in the same possession, he shot it again. And I told our staff at halftime that was the best sign we've had in a long time with him, that he had the courage to shoot it again in the same, possession. And we need him to give us a scoring burst, and he's capable of doing it. Does it in practice. He's coming off Chicago State with 15. Couldn't get going against KC, but he had some shots tonight. And then late in the game, I gave him the ball in the shot clock situation, and he got to the rim, and the big guy blocked it. But my confidence in him is growing, and we need him.
You got the lead up to 11 a number of times tonight. Did he feel like it was hard to really pull away from them?
It's February basketball. It's February basketball. Everybody's taking the turn down the stretch, and nobody's giving an inch, and everybody, is playing for seeds and trying to get ready for WAC Vegas. And I anticipate all the games the rest of the way being this intense, and it's at that time of the year. March is right around the corner, and everybody knows what that means.
It was the return of Trev Queen. What did you see from him?
Obviously, he was rusty. I thought he was itching a little bit to try to make up for some lost time, and I had talked to him about it earlier in the day that, not to do that, but I felt like a couple of his shots were rushed, and I kind of expected it as well. But, it's good to have him out there again. He got some game minutes. We were limiting him to, I don't remember what the exact number was, what he got, but we tried to keep around 15, 16 if we could. And then the same with Yvonne. He had a little bit of a hamstring issue coming into the game. We were trying to limit him as well, and he limited himself with some foul issues. But it was good to have 21 back out there, and hopefully he'll feel more comfortable going forward.
Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks, Adam.
That's Aggie head coach Chris Jantz. The Aggies reached the 20-win plateau as they improved to 20-6. They are now 11-0 in the league. 72-64, the final postgame comes up next.